One lady was like really complaining about like getting yelled at and being
Joelle.
abused. Yeah. Everyone making fun of her and how horrible it was. Like, leave. You're there voluntarily. You're not in like a concentration camp.
You don't think there's like a contract or something that makes it difficult for her to just leave?
I don't think
Well,
so.
I know they talked about like there's this pretty
got voted
extensive
off anyway,
contract.
Usually the reality TV show stuff, you're got a chance to win money and you're getting very minimal pay.
Yeah,
it's not a big deal. You
I don't
probably
think you're
give up
getting money just to be part of it. You're getting money
on most reality shows. Just to be on it, you get something very small. Like it's not enough to live on. It's a couple $1,000 or whatever. Depends on the show or if you're a returning like popular person. But you get a little bit of money. I bet if you left, you just don't get that money. Like they can't force you to stay in a job.
I think for a lot of people, it was an escape. Besides the allure of the big prize winning and celebrity and fame that comes with it, it was an escape from their reality. It's like I can just go and life at home with my family is all messed up and I can go and just do this and focus on me. We believe that you are strong by design and you were made in God's image to have a strong body, mind, and spirit. You're listening to the #1 strength and health authority podcast in the world. So let's get ready to unlock your potential and transform your life in today's episode. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Strong by Design podcast. With me today, Lindsay Hurley and Mike Westerdal. Great to have you both here. Mike's not making eye contact with me to start, so he must have something up his sleeve. Thank you so much for, I guess no sleeve. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. No doubt you have an idea of what we're going to be talking about today. A fun topic that I think Lindsay mentioned to us about a month ago when you noticed that the show was on Netflix.
Yes.
What's the name of this show? Do you remember it?
I believe it's called Fit for TV.
The Reality of the Biggest Loser.
Yeah.
And Mike thought, that's a great idea for a conversation. So being that we're a health fitness business, it makes perfect sense for us to talk about such a thing that was a huge deal for a long period of time. I think the show ran for 17 seasons, if I'm not mistaken, before it was canceled by NBC.
Yep.
And now, my first question is, how familiar with the show were you guys before you saw this documentary on Netflix?
Extremely familiar. I used to watch it growing up.
Okay, so you did watch the whole thing.
Yes.
Okay, and then Mike?
I mean, everyone's heard of it. Super popular show, but I was never interested in watching it. What about you guys?
My wife and I watched it religiously.
Yeah.
We, I guess for us, it was just interesting television, less about the health and fitness and more about seeing these dramatic transformations that people were having. And it was like it was a game show. It was gamified. It was health gamified. It was the first time they'd ever done that, reality TV mixed with like lifestyle change.
Yeah, it was a good watch. I mean, you're watching people lose like 10 pounds in a week.
15, 20. Some of these people are obviously morbidly obese. They're 400 plus pounds. So there's a lot of weight to lose.
Yeah.
But it was a big deal for a long time. And it's funny, it's been like 8 years or 9 years since the show stopped. And you kind of forget about things.
Yeah.
But then when you mentioned it, it was like, oh, wow, yeah, that was a big part of like a decade plus of my life watching that thing.
Yeah, and watching the documentary, I was like, did those things really happen in the show? And I just don't remember that part.
I know, you forget.
The food challenges and stuff.
Yeah, that was early. So Mike might not remember as much because he didn't watch the show, but in the beginning, there was a different host. And then they went to the soap opera superstar. Her name's escaping me right now. It'll probably come back to me. They're both blonde. Carolyn Ray or whatever was the initial host. And then it went to
Allison Sweeney.
Allison Sweeney, correct, from the soap opera. She was really popular. And I think they started doing away a little bit with some of those kind of wonky, bizarre, humorous challenges. And it started becoming a little bit more, I don't know.
But then at the same time, it's switched. Like they got rid of some of the ridiculous food embarrassing stuff, right? but then it also became way more extreme as you went on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they were
I was
trying to
talking about
outdo
it with
each other.
Lindsay this morning, and she said at the beginning the weight loss wasn't as crazy and dramatic, and then by the end it was hundreds of pounds and 400-pound people and stuff. So
Yeah, it was. They were always trying to do better, be better.
How long does it
outdo
go
themselves.
for? How long do you have to lose all that weight till they pick a winner? Like a season?
6
or
months.
Yeah, it was a long period of time. It was close to half a year.
So what's the biggest weight loss kind of story? Like how much was the most weight loss, or what was typical
Half
for the
their
show?
body weight, basically. Some of these people.
So some people
there
lost
were,
like
Over 100 pounds.
like 100, 200 pounds.
yeah, there were women that were in their mid 200s that were down to like 120, 125 pounds, and there were men that were 400 something pounds that were down to 200. So there were people
6
basically
months.
50%. That was like the big benchmark, I think, as the show evolved, was basically, can I be half the person I was when I started?
And like that's extremely extreme, right? So
Yeah, it's-
what's healthy is what 4 pounds at tops, like a month, like half a pound a week or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably
sustainable.
about a pound a week. They say is like good sustainable weight loss that's
All right, so
healthy.
even a little more if you have 5 pounds
Right,
for the month,
right.
and then times 6 months, so it's like 30 pounds. So
Yeah,
they're going like 3-4 times the rate of what would be healthy, and then. I think you had other talking points, but like the doctor, I found that interesting. The doctor, that he was the guy that the Raiders hired as the team doctor. And for pro football, you don't want the guy that doesn't let anybody play just because they've had a couple injuries. He was a collegiate All-American wrestler,
Right.
and he had played hurt. And they need somebody that at least understands what an athlete's going through. You're trying to do your job. You want to play, but sometimes you can't because you're injured. And what's the difference between being hurt and injured? So I find it interesting they found that doctor, right, and bring him in because he's probably going to let stuff slide. But the whole documentary, he's like, yeah, nobody was listening to me. This was not good. I told them not to do that. They weren't listening to my recommendations. I never got to talk to the trainers. So it almost felt like a battle between the doctors, the producers, and the trainers.
Well, there's no
Yeah,
doubt there was.
definitely.
There was definitely tension there, and they all had different agendas. I think.
I mean, think about the agendas, right? So the producers, they want like a hit show with millions of viewers making tons of money because it's a primetime popular show. So they have to be doing crazy, wild, unorthodox stuff. The contestants really probably want money. They want to lose weight, and they must like some kind of attention.
It's a mix of things.
Right.
Positive attention, lose weight finally, and a win.
But they know it's not all positive.
$250,000.
But a lot of these people watched it on the show, and they saw people kind of getting made fun of. Even the show has a double meaning. The Biggest Loser, they're
Right.
kind of picking on them, calling them losers, and saying they're going to lose the most weight. So you kind of know, and you voluntarily go. So you kind of know sometimes you're going to get made fun of or laughed at or be embarrassed. But it's like they wanted to change so bad, and they think this is the only option. It's almost like they were. I can't call them victims because that's the whole problem. It's like you know what's going to happen when you go, and then you get yelled at by your trainer, and you starve in yourself, and you're overtraining, and then you get injured and get health issues, lose some weight, and then gain it all back because you have no plan when you leave. And then you cry about how everyone was mean to you and made fun of you. But
Well, you
nobody
pretty
like
much
forced you to go there.
Right. You pretty much just went through all my questions. We're done.
Well,
we're
good.
good.
Well,
We're good.
I got work to do, and I know like if we went through them all, it'd be like an hour and a half, right?
What are your thoughts about the doctor? And his name is Dr. Robert Huizinga. What are your thoughts about maybe him at odds with Bob and Jillian as the trainers, and with the what do you see out of that triangle of like the producers, the trainers, and the doctor?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said they wouldn't talk to him, or he couldn't talk to them for at least a few seasons. And then I remember for one of them, he was like, finally, I was able to talk to them and say not to do this, this, and that. And it just seemed like they were constantly probably fighting each other. It's probably messengers. He probably wasn't even able to actually speak to them. But he would have, if he got what he wanted, it wouldn't have been as good of television because he wouldn't have let them eat as little as they were with exercising as much as they were. And so that's probably why
That's
there
a
was
huge
this whole
part of it.
divide.
If you're, 350 pounds and you're, trying to lose weight and you're exercising 5 to 8 hours a day, you can't survive on like 1,000 calories, regardless of how overweight you are, and think that it's going to be healthy or sustainable. It's ridiculous. I mean, they would have these marathon workout sessions, and they weren't learning how to really take care of themselves. That's the trouble with television, is you're going for like wow factor stuff and things that are going to hold the audience attention, but it's not really applicable in real life. Like, what's life look like when I'm home? Am I going to be doing 5 to 8 hour workout days? And like, no, it's all for TV. It's all for the big weight loss on the scale every week. You know, every January we talk about fresh starts, new goals, new habits. But here's something I've learned the hard way. You can't build a better year if your mind isn't clear. If you're waking up foggy, forgetful, distracted. It doesn't matter how many goals you write down, you're starting at a disadvantage. That's why I made NeuroThrive part of my daily routine. It supports the tiny mitochondria inside your brain, the little engines that power your focus, your memory, and your mood, all the things we rely on when life gets busy. And when those engines run better, you run better. You think quicker, you stay present, you follow through. It's amazing how much momentum you can build when your brain is actually firing the way it's supposed to. So if you want to step into 2026 feeling clear, steady, and confident, start with NeuroThrive. Just head to criticalnutritionlabs.com and use code SBD2026 for a special New Year's discount. Here's to waking up sharper, thinking better, and building a year you're truly proud of.
Yeah, and they're working out every day until they throw up, until like not normal workouts that you're going to then go home and then you're going to go make yourself throw up while working out. Probably not.
But they're not doing this at home with their real clients, the trainers.
No.
And there would be no show to watch people like eat a salad for lunch and go do like 45 minutes on the treadmill.
No, it would be no show.
It would be no show. Their show would not exist. And then the trainers, that's not their real life either. There's no way with their Hollywood celebrities, they're making them train 8 hours a day and do all this stuff. All of this was a show because it is a show.
Right. Well, even Bob, admittedly, and I'm sure Jillian too, they were used to working out with healthy people that were probably highly driven and goal-oriented and already in good shape and just wanted to have a trainer, right? And had these great, like Bob was saying, like name drop here, Julia Roberts like would come and take my class, and like, so that's what, they were kind of used to more of that audience. And yet now they're working with people who have no discipline.
I think they knew this wasn't healthy. Like,
oh yeah, they totally knew.
Like, they're not used to working with morbidly obese people, but I think they still, as trainers, know that's overtraining and starving everybody, and they can't handle caffeine pills and stuff. So they know. It was just they're getting millions of dollars by being these personalities. It's like a persona, and the doctor is there just for liability to help them not get sued later when people get injured and hurt. They all sign these waivers that they don't read, and if they don't want to sign it, there's like 1,000 other people that want to be on the show.
I think it's a good point too. Is people were watching the show. I know a big part of me and my wife would watch it because we wanted to see the interaction between Bob and the people, and between Jillian and the people, because there was a satisfaction there in seeing like the drill sergeant or the kind of cracking the whip and getting after these people to like do something and change their lives. Yeah. And a lot of it was very showy, but obviously there's some real feelings in there.
No, I just feel like they had a big lack of empathy, like especially because they weren't used to training these types of people, that when they didn't have as much stamina and energy, they just were like so pissed off and just no empathy for these people. Don't know what they're doing. Like, they get
no
so
clue.
mad.
I mean, look at them. Obviously, health and fitness isn't really part of their. No, some of these people, granted though, did come from maybe a good background. I mean, I know there's a few of the contestants that were healthy and were fit at one point, and then just let themselves get completely out of shape. Yeah. So there were those as well. But what were your reactions to the the different contestants. Like there were the sisters that were like, "We love the show; it was so amazing," and they stayed fit.
They're like
kind of
best
afterward.
friends with Bob. They named their kid after him.
Then you have the one blonde woman who was super bitter and was like, didn't have one good thing to say about them. You had the one brunette who was like, trying to get a feel for her. The audience and the feedback.
Tracy?
Yeah, Tracy. People hated this woman. Like, were like, I hope you just like get killed. And like they were saying awful things because of the character that she was on the show.
I can't believe they let her go back after she almost died doing that mile run.
Yep.
That was crazy.
Or that she didn't even want to go back.
She really wanted to go back.
Well, she just didn't want to go home because her husband was cheating on her and she hated her life and she was depressed. So
right.
For some reason, people thought going in this TV show was like their only chance at like getting their life back and losing weight. And it's not. It's a TV show. It's not real trainers. It's not a real nutrition plan. It's entertainment for the people watching it. We're laughing at them and entertained and connecting with them and getting all kinds of feelings. But ultimately, that is not going to be a sustainable thing. You leave.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're saying like, should there have been aftercare or help them later? But remember, it's a TV show. It's not a health and fitness company. But we talked about it pre-episode. What do you think as a bare minimum, what should the show have done just to kind of let people out into the wild?
Bare minimum should have been a discussion. Like when you go home, you should try and implement maybe this many hours of working out a week or just something, even teaching them the basics of different movements of like, this is a proper squat. This is how to safely go for like a run if you're 400 pounds. They didn't learn any kind of knowledge. It just was like being screamed out, like, do this. They have.
From what we saw, obviously. I mean, think about it. The camera's running all hours of the day and they're editing it down to an hour or two of television. So they're taking the most dramatic, the worst and the best interactions and to pull at your heartstrings and all that stuff because it's TV.
Right, but the people wanted them to like give them a plan and a trainer and a gym membership. And it's like, this isn't like a lifetime fitness thing. You were on a show and you lost the weight. And I don't think the show owes you, but I think it'd be nice if they wanted to, like Lindsay said, at least give them a basic like class and education like before they leave. Like a quick thing when you go, maybe a quick follow-up, but it's probably just legal. Like they're not a health company, they're a TV show.
Yeah.
They're just on to the next show or the next season or whatever. But yeah, it's not going to work.
That should have been the reward. As you get to certain thresholds, maybe it should have been like you get 3 months with a trainer and a nutritionist after, or you get 6 months, or you get a whole year.
To tell you that everything you've been doing is wrong, and don't listen to the trainer.
Right.
We
got to tailor what you've been doing since you're not going to be losing 15 pounds a week now.
Well,
like that guy Danny, he won the show, and now look at him.
Won the show, and now look at him. He's bigger than I think he was before he went on the show. And it's implied at the end of the thing when they show him. And he was a super likable guy the whole way through. Like you were rooting for him. I remember, right? Everybody was like, "I hope he wins," and he looked great and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not fooled. Like he's fat and happy now with his life. I mean, I don't know. I guess there's a
he said he wasn't happy.
Ground.
He said there's so many things he can't do, and then they were talking about Ozempic, and he was like, "Well, what about?"
Feel like that
he's
was
like, "What
right.
about me?" He's like, "They say don't do Ozempic because of the rebound weight gain when you stop. What about me? I gained all that." I actually started getting mad, I think, during the middle of the second episode, listening to all the contestants, because to me this was like the biggest victim mindhood, and there should be empathy. We're a health company. I get empathy for people that are struggling. All of this comes down to like personal accountability. There's a certain amount of people that have medical issues, and let's just put them on the side. But 98% of the people, this is your own choices, your own life, and you're in a bad spot. Mm-hmm. And then you chose to go on a show that you could have left anytime you wanted. And then you go back and you blame the show now for for being fat
screwing
again.
up your life.
Like, it's not the show's fault. The show helped you lose weight, maybe taught you some bad habits or something, but you can go home and you can figure this out like everyone else in the world has to do. It's actually not rocket science. Move and stop eating so much. And nobody wants to hear that. They want to hear that it's someone else's fault and poor me and suing the show and they broke my metabolism. It's like, you were already morbidly obese and you were on the track to a heart attack or dying anyway, getting your leg cut off from diabetes. And then you go home and it's like the show's fault that you live this way.
Yeah. I think it's a good depiction of our culture as a whole in terms of the outcomes for these people. Because you have categories. You have the sisters who are like, our lives are changed forever and the show is a huge benefit.
Yeah.
You have people somewhere in the middle who like flip-flopped and maybe reverted and aren't in a good place and feel like the show cost them something or it wasn't what they hoped it would be or whatever. And then you have people who went a whole different direction into like unhealthy weight loss and dieting and up and down and fit and then fat and then fit again and then trying all these different. I don't know. I think it's kind of like regular people. You're going to have if you took 10 different people and gave them the same experience, they're going to have 10 different results, 10 different kind of reactions to
or perspectives
to how it went.
or attitudes.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people are going to learn from the hardship. Other people are going to be really sad and let it keep them down forever.
I do think probably a few seasons in there, the lines got blurred a little bit along the way. Like, I think the competition aspect of it got really intense. And instead of it being like, I'm going to change my lifestyle and get fit, it became like, I need to win and I'm going to do whatever it takes.
Yes, right.
And then it became a little blurred of like Jillian secretly giving them caffeine pills when they weren't supposed to have that. And then that's when people like, I think were more susceptible to getting, now they're angry and they have the victim mindset. I think some of those people, things got a little off track.
They signed up for something and got something different than what they expected.
A little bit. Like,
I could see that.
yeah.
I would also say the one lady was like really complaining about like getting yelled at and being
Joelle.
abused. Yeah. Everyone making fun of her and how horrible it was. Like, leave. You're there voluntarily. You're not in like a concentration camp.
You don't think there's like a contract or something that makes it difficult for her to just leave?
I don't think
Well,
so.
I know they talked about like there's this pretty
got voted
extensive
off anyway,
contract, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know what the fine print says on that because typically
you
people
probably
left
lose-
when they were voted or when they were.
Are you getting paid anything to be a
voted off.
contestant at all, just to be there? Usually the reality TV show stuff, you're got a chance to win money and you're getting very minimal pay.
Yeah,
it's not a big deal. You
I don't
probably
think you're
give up
getting money just to be part of it. You're getting money
on most
if you
reality
win.
shows. Just to be on it, you get something very small. Like, it's not enough to live on. It's a couple $1,000 or whatever. Depends on the show or if you're a returning like popular person. But you get a little bit of money. I bet if you left, you just don't get that money. Like, they can't force you to stay in a job.
Well, like you were saying it before, I think for a lot of people, it was an escape. Besides the allure of the big prize winning and celebrity and fame that comes with it, it was an escape from their reality. It's like I could just go and life at home with my family is all messed up, and I can go and just do this and focus on me and that has its benefits. Certainly has its benefits. But it's
some people aren't cut out for this either,
No.
especially if there's some sort of willpower, lifestyle, discipline issue that kind of led to being really overweight, because military people get yelled at, screamed at, waking up early. Division I athletes are held to high accountability and yelled at, and you can't be sensitive to everything. So getting yelled at by a trainer, if you brought in like a different group of people, like you said, they're working with some high-level people or some disciplined people, this might just be another day at work. But when you bring in people that have never experienced this, never pushed themselves emotionally and mentally, they're not able to handle it. And that's, I think, a big reason why people are watching. How are these people going to handle this? Like, they can't do it.
Yeah.
And then you see some people actually do it, and then you're like blown away and you're happy for them. So there's a lot of feelings in this show.
the producers at the beginning said, when we first started the show, we were flying a plane while we were building it. And that's pretty much, I think, they didn't know what direction it was going to move in. It kind of took on a life of its own, like you were saying before, Lindsay. It's just like, I think within the first few seasons, they were just and then it was just gaining, obviously, massive momentum, and it became this, like, unbelievably popular. It was the biggest thing on NBC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was carrying the network.
17 seasons.
Yeah. For 10 to 15 of those years, while it was, like, at the top of probably television, making, probably 9 figures.
So when they were doing those messed up food challenges where they had to build food towers without their hands using their mouth, that was in the beginning.
That was way back, because if you even look at the footage, it looks really old. And Carolyn Ray was typically the host, I think, with that. Those challenges, I think, stopped getting so comical and kind of almost derogatory in a way.
Yeah.
I think there was stuff still with food as like a tool in a challenge, but it wasn't doing some of that
because that stuff was messed up. And
it was kind of messed up.
Whoever eats the most calories can see your family, but it's like I'm not supposed to be, but I want to see my family.
Yeah, they did away with some of that. As I recall.
That is messed up.
This is not just a physical battle. This is an emotional, mental battle.
So mental.
You're trying to lose weight, but you want to see your family. You want to eat, but you're not supposed to eat.
Yeah, right.
But that's entertaining, but that's degrading to the person.
Sure.
But they volunteered to be there.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Things like that. No wonder people are messed up if they were participating and things like that.
It probably would have been smart had they had, besides the trainers, Bob and Jillian. By the way, they tried introducing other trainers as the show went on. I don't know if you recall, in the later seasons, they were bringing in other trainers, and it wasn't always just Bob and Jillian. There was more than just the two of them, or one of them wouldn't even be in a season, if I recall. And the popularity wasn't there with these other trainers.
They wanted to see them.
They wanted Bob, and they wanted Jillian, they wanted the interactions, and they seemed on camera to have a really good relationship too, Bob and Jillian. But obviously, that's a whole side story of after the show kind of ended, was right at the end, Bob had a heart attack.
So ironic.
And he said, out of everyone reached out to me except Jillian. They completely lost contact with each other. And so
she wasn't on it.
Massive.
So we have no idea.
She wasn't on the show at all,
declined.
right?
Maybe she wants nothing to do with it. Maybe
Correct.
That catapulted her to what she's doing now.
Oh, totally did. She had her own.
Maybe she's not proud of it and doesn't want to go.
Well, there was somebody that won, and in the interview they said that he won, and she gave him a hug, and she said, "You just made me a millionaire."
I kind of want to Google and find out why she didn't want to be on the show. There's got to be something about that.
Well, her brand, her own Jillian Michaels brand, was a thing long before she was done with the show. She could have easily, I don't know, contractually maybe she couldn't have left, but she was already huge, just like Bob. They could have easily left whenever they wanted, probably after those first 5, 6, 7 seasons, and been and they would have, they were multimillionaires with huge names.
I mean, there's contracts that they, just like football, you can't just leave.
Correct.
And stuff,
so
or you
they
lose all your
probably
money.
had some kind of 3 to 5 year thing, or who knows.
So, I mean, lessons for people with extreme anything, really. You and I have done some stuff before. I don't know. Have you ever gained a bunch or lost a bunch too fast? Or have you kind of stayed steady most of your life?
Pretty steady. I mean,
That's kind of what I thought.
yeah.
I haven't seen any pictures of chubby Lindsay, but
No.
but Chris and I, we've fluctuated before, and we've done different liquid diets. We've done
fasting,
a 2-week fasting thing, and that will get you the weight off. It will. But then when you're done, if you just go back to your old habits or what you were doing, I mean, immediately you just go back to exactly how you were before. So there's got to be phases to this. And really the better way to do it is to do something sustainable that can fit your lifestyle, that you actually can live with and enjoy, and not deprive yourself of everything and not make it too extreme.
Yeah.
You can't say I'm never eating a cookie again for the rest of my life.
Of course not.
Right, and you can't work out 8 hours a day. Your body can't handle that.
No.
Your knees would be killing, your joints would hurt. It'd be horrible.
Well, back to Tracy. All she did was
Yes.
run 1 mile.
Yes.
But because she had done nothing and then went straight to an extreme, her organs just instantly started failing. And she said she died that day. I don't know.
Well, I don't
She
even
got
know
airlifted.
where was she at? Were they dehydrated? Had they been working out for a week before
They
that?
had just taken a bus to some beach and had a 1 mile run, and whoever
Right.
crossed the finish line.
But I mean,
made
like
it.
the week before. Like,
Oh.
was this fresh, like on the show, or was this after 3 weeks of starving yourself and being
Yeah,
dehydrated?
that I don't recall.
it was
I mean,
fresh because it was like if you cross the finish line, like you have a
yeah,
spot.
Yeah.
So I think it was like the first challenge.
Yeah,
thing.
physical challenges to unhealthy people sounds like a huge
You're
liability risk.
you're on the line. You're on the line there.
And I don't think
because-
it's funny at all.
No, because you could easily have a heart attack. You could easily have a stroke. You could easily have some type of. Did she go into cardiac arrest or what? Or she just
She
had?
thought she died.
Everything started shutting down. I remember they potentially were going to have to cut open her legs to like drain the fluid.
Goodness gracious! Yeah, I mean when you're.
And then she was
hundreds of
begging to
pounds-
go back.
Yeah. But she had issues with her personal life.
Well,
Anyway,
right.
Actually, that's a positive for her. She built some self-esteem enough to go in and like get
Yeah.
out of that bad relationship.
Yeah.
And she still seems to have that. She actually seems comfortable in her own skin now. But I also, it's a belief thing. I watched it. Both my kids were watching it with me. Lincoln got bored and left. But Karina, we paused it at this part where she showed her picture after doing really well on the show and how good she looked, and she goes, "That's not who I am."
Right.
And I like paused it, and I was like, Karina, who you are isn't if you're fat, if you're skinny, if you're black, if you're white, if you're rich, if you're poor. That's not who you are. That I'm like, who you are and who I am, we're a child of God. That's your identity. And I'm like, but your beliefs are going to shape what you're capable of. And she doesn't believe that's who she is, that she could even achieve that. And now she's comfortable being a bigger person, which is fine. If she's healthy and happy, then that's good for her. I would say if you are obese, you're probably not healthy, so it's not a good thing. And in love, someone should tell you that if you want to be around, you got to lose weight. But if she believed it in herself that she could be that, that's like half the battle there.
Yeah, and she ran a marathon with Dr. Huizinga. Like
Yeah, they
years
did.
after
Yeah,
then she ran a marathon.
Yeah,
so.
they were showing that picture of them crossing the finish line, I believe. That was years after she participated on the show.
Well, maybe she just meant that extreme version, is it?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
so. I think
Yeah,
so.
I think so.
It is extreme because some of these people. Again, if you take a woman for example, who's maybe was 220 or 230 pounds on the show, and then got down to like 120 or 100. That wasn't a realistic weight. It's like somebody 250 becoming Lindsay. It's like, so maybe like 150 or 160 is more of like your actual weight. And I think.
But that was good TV, though.
It was good TV. No one, like you said earlier, no one's
Bad TV
watching.
that makes money.
No one's watching, 1 to 3 pound a week weight losses, and you lost 38 pounds after 6 months. Like no one, that's not television. They want to see 38 pounds in like a week.
And drama.
And fighting and all this other
and
stuff.
Hospitals
and I think you understand that as a viewer. You get it. Like you're watching it because there's this appeal of like, what's next? Or, I can't believe they did that. I can't believe they said that. Holy crap, that's a lot of weight. And, and that's why you watch. It's like reading a book and you're like, I can't put it down because I just got to see what's on the next page.
I guess I lost all my faith in reality TV. I don't know when it was, maybe Jersey Shore or something, but I stopped watching all of it because I pretty much found out that they were taking them in the back and telling them what to do, and the cameras were following them all day and then grabbing the most dramatic, ridiculous moments. So they're really painting a picture on the show.
Yeah.
Like that one girl became a villain. They probably said she's going to be the villain,
right.
Grabbed her most worst situations.
Yes,
she may have been 80% positive with the trainers.
Sure.
Same with the trainers. We think they're absolutely horrible. They probably grabbed their meltdowns, and they had the TV personas. It's like
it's artificial.
It is artificial. So that made me. I think when the show was on, either I wasn't that into TV or I'd already given up on reality TV. And being in the fitness industry, I was like, this is stupid. This isn't even healthy or real. So I kind of never.
It's funny. I had
in.
the same feelings you had, but I flipped it. I said, I am in the health and fitness industry, and this is the biggest thing in health and fitness on TV. I need to watch it because, I was still working with clients and stuff every day, and I need to kind of know like what they're thinking because I know some of them are watching it. And so, and then plus, you know how you get into things. Even if you're not
so it hooked you a little bit.
I got hooked.
Who's going to win?
In those
Who's going to
first
lose
few
the most
years.
weight?
Yeah. And certainly by the time they made that switch, I didn't watch as much those first 3 seasons. I know I watched, but I liked the show more when Allison Sweeney became the host. She just had a better way about her. And the show was getting better, and I think it was getting past some of that kind of bizarre, stupid.
You kind of can't rig this either. Like they are losing weight. So
they are,
unless they're doing like liposuction or something. Like, how do you rig this? Like, stuff's actually happening. It can't be fake. Right. It's bad and not healthy, but it's not fake.
Right.
It was a good watch.
It was.
It was
And it sparked other shows. There was another show, I think Extreme Weight Loss or Extreme something with that other trainer. Real likable guy, kind of a short, stocky guy, kind of like a Bob, but like really positive. I think it was Extreme Weight Loss or something like that. But he worked with people one-on-one. So it was still a show. It was still like docu-style, following people through this journey, and he was pushing people, but I think it was a much better approach because it was a one-on-one situation.
Yeah, and
with
no one's
good
heard
coaching.
of it, and no one's seen that show.
Well, no, it was big for a little while. Like while Biggest Loser was running, this was running on another network, and had popularity for sure. And this guy is still popular, the trainer from that. I wish I remembered it, but you have to look at it. Extreme Weight Loss.
It sounds super familiar.
Yeah, and I don't think it ran nearly as long, and certainly wasn't as big as Biggest Loser, but the concept of it was certainly tailored to long-term results in actual health and fitness. I mean, if you're working with somebody individually, I think the guy's name was Chris something.
Yeah.
And he's a really big-time trainer.
Chris Powell?
Chris Powell, yeah. Mm-hmm. And is it Extreme Weight Loss?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
5 seasons.
5 seasons, yeah. And he's definitely on another network.
Never seen that guy in my life.
Yeah, no, I know. But that was on during that time, and it kind of, I believe it probably sparked that show. And but that's reality television for you. I mean, look at all the bizarre things that are on TV.
People like watching a train wreck. That's why.
They really do.
That was the biggest train wreck on TV.
Geared towards trying to help people.
Well, I don't know. Was it?
The thing that sparked it, right? The producer said at the beginning, he was at a gym and he saw on a bulletin board, he saw a picture of an obese person. It might not even been a picture. It was a note that said, I'm obese and I really want to, I'm
looking for a trainer.
I'm looking for a trainer.
Like, please help me, like save my life.
Yeah, and then that sparked that idea for the show. It's like, that's what I could do, And so obviously it came from a good place. It's just morphed into this like popular reality show where the goal was not just lose weight, but become the champion and win $250,000. And
I mean, overall, I don't think it helps people. It's too extreme. It's unhealthy and non-sustainable. Yeah. So I don't know how it helps them besides getting famous or getting some money.
Do you guys remember what it said at the end of this show? What it said in the text?
What?
It obviously said like, there was some ongoing legal stuff going on. And the very last thing it said in 2003, America's obesity rate was 32%, I want to say. And today it's 45%. Mm-hmm. So the show in 20 years had zero impact. Yeah. In fact,
Well, the other thing the guy said, this really all comes down to food. The reason a lot of us are so fat is because of all the crap in our food that we're eating.
Of course.
So he's like, we can't have a show on like eating healthy. We have a show on working out 8 hours a day. Right. But the working out part, you can't burn enough calories to really make any difference.
No. Once you're in your 20s and beyond, you can't outdo a bad diet. You can't.
No, you really can't. I mean, you do a crate because they said they were burning 8,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
And I was telling my daughter a hard workout is 1,000 calories. That's a hard workout. And I'm like, if you did even 2 of those a day, that's like 8,000 is absolutely ridiculous.
It's ridiculous because
you can't sustain that.
They even said Michael Phelps, when he was training for the Olympics, was maybe burning like 5,000 to 8,000 calories a day. Are we to think that these people were burning Michael Phelps calories?
But I mean,
I kind of do. I think they were waking up at 7 a.m., working out, maybe going for a walk, lunchtime, work out again, probably go for another walk, and then probably an evening workout. And then they were saying they were eating like 800 calories a day. So even if they're not burning 8,000, maybe they're burning 3,000, and they're still only eating 800 calories.
Yeah, 3,000 would be a ton. I doubt that they're burning 8. Let's say they burned 3 and they're starving themselves, and it's not healthy.
So you're still in a massive deficit. You know that you know what I mean.
I'm surprised more people didn't have to leave the show.
Yes.
It should be like Naked and Afraid, where like the helicopter has to come get you because you got parasites in you and stuff.
Correct.
And they sign the same waivers, but they don't. Do they go home and cry afterwards? I got sick when I had to eat those bugs in the desert.
Well, we don't know. There's no
Probably.
documentary on that
There's
show
always
yet.
going to be. So yes, we feel bad for these people, but it's still their own choice.
Yes.
They chose to do it. They knew what they were getting into. And then later, can we feel bad for them? Sure, we can still have empathy and feel bad. But this was a bad idea, I think, to go on that show. The whole show's a bad idea, and we're bad people for watching it.
No.
Lindsay, you're a bad person for even enjoying that show. So,
I was probably like 12 years old.
Yeah.
Glued to
So
the
I mean,
TV.
it's actually, it was a bulk of your childhood was that show, really, right? So pretty kind of left a mark.
I
like, in you.
guess. I don't know.
Maybe that's led to why you're so fit.
Maybe.
She had a Biggest Loser T-shirt on last week.
Did she?
She had the cup that said Biggest Loser on it.
Did you really? You had a whole bunch of stuff? Oh, no. Oh, okay. I'm like,
No.
I missed that. I wasn't here that day.
I gotta get back to work. Do you want to do a wrap up?
Yeah, no, well, I think
What are our takeaways here for everybody?
Final takeaway, I think, is this. I think certainly taking ownership of your own health and fitness, and the only person that's going to really make the most impact is you. Is the consistency of doing the basics right, doing it each day, and finding that consistency in a routine of sleep, of exercise, of portioning food, and of finding good quality whole food options, and trying to cut out the processed foods. And it sounds pretty simple and it sounds pretty blah, but if you just follow those kind of tenets of health and fitness and do that long enough, you will get the results you're after. It might take you 6 months or a year to really get to where you want to be, but everybody's probably most people listening are probably anywhere from 15 to maybe 30 pounds to where they want to be weight-wise. You're either there or you're 15 to 30 pounds maybe away from where you'd like to be. Now, certainly there's that other category of people that are 50 to 100 pounds away from where they want to be, but I think that's a smaller percentage that it might be growing.
I don't know.
But I would say even like Mike and I are like probably 15 to 20 pounds away from where we'd rather be. Now, but you're a good candidate for somebody who's at probably the weight that you would like to be. So I think it really comes down to just the consistency and having faith in yourself. What any final words?
What do you think, Lindsay?
I'm just thinking in my head. I was imagining all of the contestants that take turns speaking on the show, and I'm trying to remember did any of them specifically say which ones went on Ozempic, or they just.
I think Ozempic didn't become a thing until after.
They all kind of touched on it, and like
they brought
two
it up
of them
at the
were
end.
skinny, and I was like,
I think
Joelle.
the ones now, like the one lady there, Joelle, she's for sure an Ozempic candidate.
I'm like, she's really skinny.
That's why she's like fit right now, because the work ethic was never there.
Yeah,
she was just a crybaby, and now. Granted, there's other factors there, but she was not like a hard worker type person. You could tell.
So what was your takeaway? That
I'm just wondering which of them are on Ozempic now.
Who actually seem like they're in a good place now physically.
That's Lindsay's takeaway. 3 episodes, it ends. Who's on Ozempic?
Who's on Ozempic? Well, now, because that's the option now, right?
Yeah.
So if you're 100 plus pounds overweight, the option is, well, just go on Ozempic, and that'll,
All right.
squelch
Well, the
your
doctor,
appetite.
yeah, and for the people listening, the doctor said it takes a long time to know the results of all this stuff. We don't know. It's a very early thing.
It is.
It seems like it works very well, but we don't know the long-term things.
Don't do it.
I don't know. It could be the things with cancer. They said it's like venom from a Gila monster. I don't know what this stuff is, but they just don't have the studies on it yet to know if it's safe. So it's definitely a risk if you're doing it. That's all. Yeah. Definitely not like something to just jump right into.
No, there's 20-year-old models taking it just to
it's
stay.
ridiculous.
But
When young people do stuff
whole other topic
like that. Yeah, it's like 20-year-old guys doing testosterone and stuff. It's like, come on, dude.
What are your takeaways?
I guess my whole reaction on the whole thing was that the show was entertainment and it did very well entertaining everybody, and that it wasn't like a long-term weight loss solution at all,
right?
And not necessarily had everybody's best interest as far as long-term health and fitness. No. So I think it was a TV show that was popular, and the people, the way they trained and learned and what they did is not like applicable to real life. So strictly entertainment.
Made NBC it became a $1 billion industry. The Biggest Loser itself became a $1 billion business, which is insane. Wow. But it made NBC a ton of money, and it made a lot of millionaires, right?
Yeah. And then for the listeners, it's similar to what Chris said. There is no shortcut. There's no easy way to do it. It's just long-term consistency, little by little for the long run. It's like, just like everything in life, it's like grit and long-term and sticking with it. But that's the point. If you're going to stick with it, it's got to be something you can live with. This is a lifestyle, not some sort of crash 6 months, not some special diet, special shot, special supplement. It's like something you got to live with your whole life and gradually. Yeah. Anytime you go extreme, I think you might get fast results, but you can't keep that going. And you're right back where you started.
Yeah, agreed. Well, thanks, guys. Thank you, Lindsay, for bringing this up, and Mike for helping make it happen. Yeah. And I think this is a good, healthy conversation to start the 2026 year. And, January is the time of year when people are really looking at their state of health and fitness and what their goals are maybe for their physical health. And I hope this conversation benefits you in some way and you reflect a little bit on what is sustainable and what can I do? What am I willing to do for the next 3 to 6 months to get in a better place? So come June or July, I'm really happy with what I've the work that I've put in. And it's a little bit every day, baby steps. And that's my final advice. And we just thank you so much for being a part of the Strong by Design podcast. Be sure to share this with a friend or a family member who maybe struggles in this area, or was a big fan of the show. And go check it out. It's definitely worth your time. It's on Netflix. It's called Fit for TV: The Reality of the Biggest Loser. Thanks again, and we'll talk with you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Strong by Design podcast. If you found value in today's episode, please subscribe so that more people can find out about our show. Plus, you don't want to miss any future episodes with the amazing guests and topics we have lined up for you.